I feel the environment is exactly as it was, but is so intent on improvement. You know, more so than I've ever been in any other place. You know, there's no, you know, if there is any aura or any sort of talk of that, that's well outside these walls. You know, it's so focused on how can we be better, how can we do better, how can we get the result we want against France. That's all it's been. You know, every section of our day and everything we do has been cut apart and talked about, and how, you know, how the players can get better and keep improving, because we're not where we want to be. You know, and Eddie and his coaching staff have reinforced that every day, as does Dylan and as does as do the leaders, because that's all we're interested in doing, is just, you know, getting the result against France, and in that interim period trying to, you know, get every player to improve.
I was going to ask where that comes from. Does it come from Eddie, that constant need for improvement, or does it come off the back of the fact that we've had these wins, now let's see how good we can be?
It's been Eddie's message from day one. You know, we talked about when we were, you know, 8th in the world when he first came in, and said, you know, where we wanted to try to get to. You know, he's always been about trying to get the players to improve. He's one of those guys that constantly gives messages to the group and individuals how you can be better, how you can move forward. He, you know, the coaching staff are exactly the same. You know, they're on you all the time about every little bit of detail. You know, we're trying to be brilliant at the basics. That's what we want to be, and that's what will take a team from being 8th to the top side in the world. And he sort of hammers that mantra every day.
And you talked about they're constantly trying to get better even at the basics, but they've introduced other things into the coaching. I understand when you're in Portugal, you're doing a bit of mixed martial arts and things like that. I mean, does that, as players, does that open you up to new things? Do you sense improvements in yourself when the coaches introduce these new things?
I think as a rugby player, I've always personally looked at other sports to try to improve myself. You know, I've done a lot of MMA style training, judo, boxing. I've done some weird and wonderful things, running, you know, on reverse treadmills and stuff like that, working with Margot Wells and all sorts of different people to try and improve yourself. And I think the whole point about being a professional rugby player, an England rugby player, is taking ownership and being self-driven, wanting to be the best player you can be, and that means being open-minded. It means trying new things. It means working on being brilliant at the basics and hammering all that kind of stuff. And I think in Portugal, you know, there was a different variety of things, because we're trying to get those marginal gains in every single area. Because rugby is rugby wherever you go, but it's about trying to look at things in a different way. It's trying to improve. It's trying to add detail, and this environment is all about that. And there's no one ever sits back. I don't, you know, from the kit man up to Eddie and all the players, nobody has a rest day. Nobody's not thinking about how they can improve.